Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Paradise. I'm currently on vacation in Maui and decided this was the perfect time to sit down and make this video for you guys, give you all the tips and tricks that I have on starting up a detailing business. I literally get asked all the time on YouTube and Instagram, things like how to get your name out there, how to price, what equipment to buy, all that sort of stuff. So just before we jump into the video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, get a pen and paper so you can take some notes. I'm gonna go grab a rum and we'll kick things off. That's good. Alright, so because I know there's a ton of you out there that are either thinking about starting up a detailing business, or maybe you've already started one, you aren't having much success yet. So I'm going to walk you through how I started my business out a few years ago, everything I've learned along the way, and how I've managed to build a successful detailing business. Okay, so I'll just start off by saying this video won't be entirely all-encompassing, but I will focus in on the main aspects and things you need to know to build a successful business. So if you're starting a new business, I'm going to skip over the things like choosing a name or getting the proper licenses and insurance. Those things you can do on your own, and they're going to be different for everybody. But something to consider is, are you wanting to do that express wash type of service where you're doing multiple vehicles a day? Do you want to be doing more thorough full details like you see me do, where you're only doing one vehicle a day? Do you want to be focusing more on paint correction, ceramic coatings? Now that's something that's going to be a little bit personal preference, but it also may be influenced by your market. Now in some areas it's going to be a lot tougher to find customers that are willing to pay for the top end work, although in other areas it might just be what's expected. At the end of the day though, generally speaking, there should be a customer base for any of those type of services, like the express wash, the thorough full detail, the paint correction and ceramic coatings. You need to decide what's right for you and what makes sense. Now once you've decided on the type of services you're going to offer, the next thing to consider is the products and the equipment side of things. Basically, do you have the equipment and the products and everything you need to be able to do those services that you're offering? Now for instance, if you're looking to offer carpet or seat shampooing services, you're going to need an extractor to be able to do that job well. Or if you're going to get into paint correction, you're going to need a polisher, you're going to need pads, polish, compound, swirl finder light, all that kind of stuff. Now I won't really get into product recommendations on this video because honestly that could be a video all on its own. What I will say is two things you're going to be looking for in products is quality and value. And honestly, those are two things that can be really hard to find. However, I will say that Meguiar's offers a professional detailer's line of products that is actually directed at businesses. They're very economical and very high quality products at the same time. You might notice that I use a lot of them, and the reason for that really is because they're fantastic products and they're relatively cheap. A lot of them are sold in gallon sizes and come in concentrate, so they're very economical from a business standpoint, but really at the end of the day they work well and they'll give you great results. Now if any of you are curious, I do have almost all the products and tools that I use listed down in the description. I will say I'm not sponsored by any of these companies to recommend them or anything. There are basically I speak from experience. I use these products, I love them, they give me great results, and I think they could for you too. Now the next thing to consider here is, what are you going to charge for those services that you're offering? Honestly, this is one of the questions that I get asked all the time, and my answer is it really depends. For pricing, I always recommend to look at what other detailers around you are charging and for what quality of work that they're doing, and base your prices off of that. It's going to give you a really good idea of what your market is willing to pay for a particular type of service. Now if they're charging $200 for a full detail and you can do the same quality of work that they are, it's not outrageous to think that you should be charging the same thing. Only you can be the judge of the quality of your work, and if you do good work, then charge accordingly. My personal opinion, I don't think it's a good idea for the detailing industry or in your market to be undercutting other people. If you're doing good work, there's no reason why you shouldn't be charging accordingly for it. If everyone starts undercutting everybody else, then you're not going to be making a whole lot of money. So like I said, base your prices off of what other detailers around you are charging and for what types of services that they're offering in those packages. And if you're doing similar work, charge accordingly. And if you're doing better work, don't be afraid to charge a little bit more, if you can defend to your customers exactly why you charge more than the other guy. Now the other thing I will say though is that pricing can vary a ton by region, state to state, province to province, country to country. So if you guys have looked up on my website what I charge for my services, it may not be reflective of your area, it may not make any sense. It does for mine, but it may not be right for you. Okay, so now that you've decided what services you're going to offer, you've got the equipment and the products to do those services, and you know what you're going to charge for them, what's the next step? How do you find your first customer? So basically what I did when I was faced with this situation, when I was just starting out, I started with my own personal vehicles, then I did a few family and friend vehicles at a very reduced rate. Gave me the opportunity to basically refine my process, but also build a portfolio of before and after pictures that I could use as marketing material. It's very important with those first few details that you do, you get good before and after pictures of those details, because ultimately that's what potential customers are going to judge you on. Do your best to have consistent lighting, consistent framing. That's not always possible, but do your best. Sometimes honestly getting in close can be better for those pictures than just standing outside the vehicle and snapping a picture of the interior. Alright, so now you've got some marketing material, but what do you do with it? My recommendation is start a Facebook page for your business, maybe even an Instagram page too. Definitely create a website. Facebook is free, so is Instagram, and honestly getting a website put together can be done relatively cheap. There's a lot of websites out there like Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, Weebly. They all let you create a website for relatively cheap. It can be really professional looking, and really having a website for your business just legitimizes it, but it also allows you to reach more potential customers from people who are maybe Googling like detailers near me. You're not going to come up if you're just on Facebook. Now for Facebook or Instagram, what I will say is it is incredibly hard to grow organically on either of those platforms. Now my philosophy when I started was that I wanted to grow organically. I didn't want to spend a whole pile of money on ads. Although after a while, I really wasn't getting any business, so I did drop a few $100s on ads, but didn't really see any return on that, so I eventually stopped. I feel like it's one of those things where if you aren't spending hundreds and hundreds or maybe even thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, you're really not going to get a whole lot out of it. So from my personal experience, it's not something I would recommend, but to each their own. It might work for you, it might be different in a different area or market, but it didn't work very well for me. Now aside from running ads, the best thing you can do on social media is post often. Try to post engaging content. Make sure your pictures are good. People would actually want to look at them. Make sure your posts are short and to the point. And honestly, business is going to be slow to start. If you're one of those lucky people who start up and you've got customers right away, good for you. I don't know, for me, it took a long time. It probably took at least a year and a half before things really started to pick up. So my advice is just be patient, do good work first and foremost. If you have customers that are recommending you, word of mouth is by far the most powerful tool that you can have to grow your business. So do good work and it will happen. It will come, customers will come. Although if maybe you're impatient or it's just really not going well for you and it's been a long time, it's been more than a year, one thing you can do if you haven't got business cards already is get some business cards done up. They're super cheap. Now it's not my personal style to do this, but you can go around, leave business cards on vehicles under their windshield. People do it all the time with flyers, but that kind of thing, it's just not my thing. But you know what, if it works for you, great. It's all about getting business at the end of the day. You could try leaving them in, maybe you know somebody with a local business, you could try leaving your cards at the front desk area. There's all sorts of things that you can do to try to drum up business. And another good one is going to car shows. Go to local car shows, talk to people there. Those people with those vehicles, those are the guys that want to keep them looking good, and guaranteed you can probably find a customer or two if you go to a car show, leave some cards out, give people you chat with your card, that sort of thing. There's lots of different ways you can get your name out there. You just have to be creative. All right, well, I hope this video answered a few of those burning questions that I know a lot of you have had. I have tried to get back to a lot of you on Instagram or on YouTube, but there's so many questions. I can't get to them all, so I figured I'd make this video. This was a great time to do it. And yeah, really the biggest thing for me, the biggest message to take home is that you have to do good work. If you're going to be a detailer, it's in the name. If you're not doing good work, customers are not going to be happy. They will not recommend you to other people. It's all about the details. You have to do good work if you want to be successful. Yeah, that's really the best piece of advice that I can give you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I will post more videos like this. If you guys have any ideas for future videos, business or otherwise, that you want to see, make sure you leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going to grab another rum. This one seems to be empty, so yeah, catch you in the next one.